welcome to my kitchen. Today I am going to be making pumpkin gobs, or you may know them as whoopie pies. So let's get started. So I had never really heard of gobs or whoopie pies until after I married and moved up here, and I was introduced to them at a fall festival. And ever since that fall, 20 years ago, they just kind of joined my rotation of fall baking. I make them in chocolate and vanilla, but since we're close to Thanksgiving, we're doing pumpkin. They've got a creamy sour cream icing, and if you like pumpkin roll, this is a lot like a pumpkin roll but in cookie form. So to get started with, I need 3 cups of flour. It's going to be a little noisy in here today. Get 3 cups of flour real quick. And you're going to want to have your oven preheated to 350. And these cookies will bake between 12 and 14 minutes. That's 2. I'm going to have to mill up some more flour. 3. And then to this, we want to get our dry ingredients going first. So to this, I need to add a teaspoon of baking soda. And a teaspoon of baking powder. And then I need a half a teaspoon of salt. Half teaspoon of salt. And you're going to want to slowly get this all kind of mixed together. And you want to mix this recipe by hand, because if you do it in the blender or with a hand mixer, you can over mix it. And then I want cinnamon. This part, measure with your heart. Cinnamon. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. So just measure with your heart, like I said. I can smell it. I think I might want a little bit more cinnamon in there. Just a little bit more. Now I know some of you are going to stick strictly to the measurements on the recipe. That's fine. It's entirely fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Now I need 15 ounces. I didn't grab it. Hold on 1 minute. I need 15 ounces of pumpkin. Nice seal there. You want a pumpkin puree. Now you can buy the canned stuff, or you can, from the store. This is some that I put down. And I'm not worried about botulism because it does get baked and it's not nearly as thick as the stuff you get out of the store, so it does heat through when you're canning it. And it's going to be, like I said, going back into the oven, so I'm not worried about that. Alright, let me see here. Got that. I need 2 cups of brown sugar. You want a light brown sugar. It's my little brown sugar maple leaf. These really help with keeping your brown sugar from getting hard. Okay. 2 cups of brown sugar. Just pop my maple stone back in there. Alright. This all mixed in. Now I need 2 eggs. And I need, where did I put my measuring cup? Let me see here. 2/3 cup of oil. I just had to find it on my cup here. I am using olive oil. Okay, let's get the rest of this in here now. Okay. 2/3 a cup of olive oil. And vanilla. This you're going to want to measure with your heart also. You want a tablespoon, more or less. And then just carefully start mixing this together. Now look at this beautiful dough. You don't want to overmix this. If you have a cookie scoop, that works really good for this part, but I do not. I have a baking tray lined with parchment paper. I'm just going to lightly spritz it with a little oil. Just a little bit, nothing much. Now I'm going to take my tablespoon and place it on my tray here. Let me see if I can move things over and make a little bit. You want to try and keep them kind of evenly sized. Space them a couple inches apart so they'll have room to spread. Now mine are not going to be perfect and uniform and beautiful, but they're going to taste good. And no matter how tempting, don't lick your finger. Now this step is completely optional, but I have some filtered water in this cup. I'm just going to dip my finger in it and carefully kind of smooth out any of the little points, or just smooth them out if you want a smoother look to the top of your cookie. Like I said, these are not going to be perfect. These are ready to go in the oven. Like I said, I've got it preheated to 350, and I'm going to put these in for between 10 and 14 minutes. Just, you know your oven, you know what it runs, so keep an eye on them. I just pulled these gobs out of the oven like 30 seconds ago. I cooked them for 12 minutes, and as you can see here, they're nice and fluffy. Let's look at that bottom. They've got a lightly brown bottom. They're soft, they're puffy. I'm going to actually place them on my cooling rack here. Get these cooling, and I'll get another batch ready for the oven. The timer just went off for my last tray of cookies. Well, that one's shaped a little funny. That's okay. Get these off so they can start cooling. Move these ones down. Put a few over here. All right. Got the gobs cooling. I'll move this out of the way. And now for the filling, I want 1 stick of room softened, you can see how soft that is, room temperature butter, and I want 4 ounces, so that's half a brick of cream cheese, also room softened. You can see, nice and soft. It's going in. And then I'm going to put my attachment on, and we are going to whip this just till it's nice and soft. You are going to want to scrape down the sides of your bowl just a little bit. Just make sure it's well whipped, kind of light and fluffy and airy. So you want 3 cups of powdered sugar that we are going to very carefully and slowly start adding in a little at a time. Be sure to scrape down your sides again. You want to get all that powdered sugar incorporated. A little bit here in the bottom, not much. And at this point, we are going to want to add our vanilla. Again, measure with your heart. Mix some more. Now, if you think this filling is a little too thick for your taste, what texture, oh, this is good. You can add just a drop, like half a teaspoon of heavy whipping cream if you want. Excuse me, that's good. Let me get my hands wiped off though. Hey Bob.
Yeah?
Come here. Would you like? Okay, go on. I'm going to get this.
Is this a filling?
That's the filling. Now this part, if you just want to spoon the filling on, you can. Or if you want to take a piping bag, which is what I'm going to do. Fill your piping bag. With your cream cheese filling here.
All 10.
My son's working on a science kit, so that's what he's... No, take that to the bathroom. Take it to the bathroom to do that, Bud. I'm trying to cook.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't need your science experiment in the food. So once you get your bag filled up, here, let me make some room here. Let me slide that over. And let me see, which one? These are cool, these. Grab a tray here. Whoop, just dropped a cookie off. All right. Turn my bag. Like I said, if you want to do this by hand, you can. I'm gonna cut off the tip here. Take my cookie. Now I'm not gonna put a whole lot on there because these cookies are pretty big, as you can see, and just lightly press down. This recipe made 15 gobs. My son is eating one and he dropped one. But as you can see, beautiful layer of filling and 2 cookies. Now I will wrap these individually and then I will put them in the fridge so that they will be ready to go. And thank you for joining me today, and happy baking.